Shankar Prasad, the IT minister, his first reaction on this entire controversy.
TikTok and several apps. Now Twitter is in trouble. You're a soft-spoken man, but right now you are the virtual demolition man of social media.
No. The comparison is misplaced. TikTok and others were chucked out because of national security issue, data privacy of Indians in exercise of the sovereign power of India, apart from IT Act. Here, we framed in guidelines pursuant to two Supreme Court judgments, Pranjula case of 2018, Facebook case of 2019. Two parliamentary recommendations, apart from larger scale civil spaced concerns. Rahul, this question I have always been raising and I am raising today. If a harassed mother comes to me complaining that the ex-boyfriend of her daughter is making all her intimate photographs viral, what should I do? Tell her to go to America and complain, as Twitter says?
No, but she can go to the Twitter India? No, it's not possible?
The reply was that we have no authority. All this will be decided only in America.
You mean to say what's get posted in India, in Twitter India, it is decided by, adjudicated by Twitter America?
The present arrangement, I'm only telling you. What this guideline says, this is very important. It deals not with the use of social media. It deals with the abuse and misuse of social media and give a voice to the victims of abuse. Journalists, now judges, forget politicians, small businessmen, people are being defamed, fake news going on, nudity being shown. I'm not talking of terrorism, etc. Therefore, I'm giving a voice. And what we want, have a proper grievance redressal officer stationed in India with address. Have a nodal officer for contact with the law enforcement authorities. And most important, have a compliance officer resident in India to ensure that grievance is redressed within a fortnight and communicate to us once every month how many you have redressed. Are we asking for the moon? We do not. And one thing at the very outset, Rahul, I must explain what information we are seeking from WhatsApp. No invasion of privacy, no intimate details being asked. My word to Rahul on India Today, ordinary WhatsApp user have nothing to fear.
Let's come back to this Twitter issue.
No, I'm telling them. Yeah. We are only seeking those messages which have already gone viral, which are causing mayhem,
public unrest, threat to
violence, nudity of women being displayed, etc., children, sexual abuse. Then you have only to say who started the mischief. That's all. And if it came from across the border, then who started in India? That's all. Regarding the Twitter part, all other have complied. We should then notice after...
You gave them 3 months.
No, 3 months. When I announced in the press conference, I believe you are also present.
Yes.
On the 25th of February. 3 months' time was given to the significant social media intermediary, namely those who are having 50 lakhs and more of followers. This exhausted itself on 26th of May this year. Okay. Many have complied. We were in correspondence. We gave them the last goodwill gesture. Please do.
Comply.
Otherwise, it will have consequences. They said within a week we will do it. First, they appointed a lawyer as their officer grievance. You can't do. He has to be an employee.
They employed a lawyer who was employed with some other law firm.
Yes.
What is the current status? Have they complied with the final compliance officer?
They haven't. I believe they have sent some name. It's still address, etc. is not there. My point is, yesterday, when they said within a week we will do it, they did not do so. And this is very important, Rahul. Rule 7 of the guideline, framed under Section 87 of the Act, having lawful enforceability, clearly says, if you do not follow these guidelines or the rules, then you will lose Section 79 status and other attendant penal law consequences.
That means you are not issuing any order.
No.
It is by default that since you don't comply, you lose that status.
The withdrawal or extinction of your status as an intermediary exemption becomes effective because of operation of law itself. From the government we have said, all right, we will give you 1 week more goodwill gesture. The point to note is...
So today I want to know, is today Twitter a significant social media intermediary or not?
It is. I will never question their intermediary status. The issue is...
In the eyes of the law.
The issue is, do they enjoy the exemption of Section 79 protection? And what is that exemption? Twitter is a platform, people debate, people discuss, people defame, people create lots of things. For those issues arising out of the use of your platform, you will not be held accountable because you are having an exemption. The persons who are using it, we will be involved. Now, the legal position would be that because of operation of Rule 7, this consequence. Therefore, I am not taking...
As a lawyer, as a law minister, do you think till the time they comply and the rules are in place, have kicked in from May 26th, do they have the protection today or not?
My reply is very simple. Don't ask me the question. Read the Rule 7 of the guidelines. There was a 3-month period. That period exhausted itself. You are giving the last indulgence. You are being said you are doing that. Rahul, is it an IAS examination being conducted? Preliminary exam, interview. You have to appoint a person. You can appoint one of your own by way of an interim management. For that, I'm sorry to share with you, I'm told by my department that they took a position that they are appointing a consultant who is having a view that till you have your office in India, you are advised not to appoint a chief compliance officer. What is all this?
You mean to say that they are telling you that till they will have a local office, they may not be...
I'm only telling you. Beyond that, I should not. Are you interested? Therefore, why this reluctance? Why this hesitancy?
Can you answer
just a minute. Just a minute. When Indian companies go to do business in America, IT companies or pharma companies, do they follow the American laws or not? My question is very simple. Do the Americans give
good, bad or ugly?
Do the American government issue a guideline? These requirements, they ought to have followed themselves. When you are in India Today news, your channel, do you have any internal regulatory mechanism or not? In the case of a grievance, I am told a retired Supreme Court judge is there.
Yeah.
So I am asking a very simple thing. We are not in the game, Rahul. Let your viewers know. We are only empowering the users of social media who are suffering abuse.
You see, but there is a general perception that government is taking on, it is Twitter Sarkar versus Bharat Sarkar. Is it a clash?
I'm very happy you asked me this question. No, with a capital N. The Narendra Modi government welcomes criticism. I'm very clear. Those who are on Twitter or any social media can criticize Narendra Modi government, criticize Ravi Shankar Prasad, ask questions. I acknowledge these platforms have empowered ordinary Indians. The point is, we are empowering the ordinary users of these platforms against misuse. We are out of it. Let me make it very clear. But the point again I would revert, a very simple, straight question. Why should you be reluctant to enforce a mechanism which is your user-centric?
What is your hunch? Why don't they do it?
Don't ask me, ask them. For instance, I don't wish to make any comment on the issue as to what is happening in Ghaziabad. The police is doing, others are doing. I will not be making any, except to give one example. As that particular offending tweet has even come on your channel or other channels, it is in public domain. It was, I would say, offensive. Are you not supposed to examine whether you should allow
also a threat to public order?
Huh?
Also a threat to public order?
Absolutely. Apart from the fact that the color of communal angle was found to be completely incorrect in the prima facie investigation, you are giving an impression that we are having a system of checking whether this particular presentation is manipulated or not. Why you have double standards on that? These questions have to be asked. And let me say it very emphatically on Rahul's show, that we are proud of our democracy. We have a constitution which gives freedom of speech and expression. We have a robust judiciary. We have got a robust media. You are asking me all the questions. And ultimately accountable to the people of the country.
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, there is an issue. You as a government are the guardian of the Constitution of India. You function under the pleasure of the Constitution of India. You say that free speech is welcome. Twitter says that it stands for free speech. Now, between you two, when you want, you tell Twitter that please block these handles. This is objectionable, which might be judgment, which might be your perception objectionable. And sometimes Twitter decides, say for example in Sambit Patra's case, it decided that this is manipulated media. Now these are two entities professing free speech and there is a clash. Now, don't you think there is a contradiction, or is it kind of work of two entities does create such clashes?
No, I'm very clear about it. You, in Washington, when some people invade the Capitol, you stop their Twitter account, which also involved a president at that point in time. Your decision. But when the Red Fort of Delhi is invaded during the farmers' strike by terrorist supporters with sword-wielding people raising anti-India slogans and pushing hundreds of policemen in ditch of 20 feet below, Red Fort is where the Prime Minister hoists the national flag. You say it is freedom of speech. I'm asking this question, and this question should be asked.
Why do you think Twitter did? Why did it acted differently? You see there is a lack of uniformity?
Therefore, these questions, when the expansion of social media, are you a platform or you are content regulator? Like an editor, like you, subject to Press Council of India guidelines, other requirements of defamation, etc. Do you know, today I am constrained to flag you. They showed Ladakh portion as a part of China in a map. It took almost a fortnight for us to persuade them to change it.
A fortnight?
Why? Or 10 days probably. Why? Today I am sharing with you why. Why should a morphed image of a woman being circulated and recirculated should not invite your attention? Why you should not ask if this woman's nude photograph is there, is the element of consent is there or not? I'm raising a pure issue of gender justice. Therefore, Rahul, I want to again tell you very honestly, we are not being judgmental. I think the legal position, constitutional position of free speech is very clear. Okay, India is a robust democracy. There are hundreds of Supreme Court judgments detailing it.
You see, today you tweeted, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, deliberate non-compliance. How do you say, why do you say it's deliberate? Do you see an agenda behind it?
I don't want to be judgmental.
But you said deliberate non-compliance.
You know that 26th of May, the timeline has exhausted itself. Okay? Yesterday, the final position was clarified that now the law has kicked in. Why? Because we did not become, I would say, arbitrary that now we will howl you up. We kept on requesting. We kept on having communication. I insisted, no, let us give them 1 week last chance by way of goodwill gesture. What is your internal arrangement? Twitter India, Twitter Inc., America, Singapore, Delhi is none of my concern. I only want a responsible, accountable person, station in India with address known whom a harassed user can approach. Again, I'm asking, am I asking for a moon? And does it need a big legal advice to you to set up?
But are you being, there is a charge that you're being heavy-handed because somewhere Twitter, or there are people on Twitter who do not agree with your ideology as a party and as a government.
There are people who also agree with. Let me again emphatically say we welcome criticism. And Rahul, you are a seasoned journalist. Narendra Modi being criticized from today for the last more than 20 years. There are many people and some organization who have got almost a kind of a patent over criticizing Mr. Narendra Modi. Fine, that's their right. When I tweet, people appreciate, people criticize. That is what the essence of democracy is about. And again, let me say one thing more. Emphatically, we acknowledge that fun, pun, satire, humor are part of democracy. All we acknowledge.
What if Twitter complies in a few days? You mean to say normalcy will be restored?
No, I am not being normal or abnormal. Only the legal position has been explained. What is the legal consequences? Wide Rule 7 of the guidelines. We knew it very. That's all. We are not being judgmental. I am very clear. I again repeat, I am not being judgmental at all. But one thing I must flag. As a citizen of India and a responsible minister of a responsible government, do you have some accountability or not?
In the toolkit investigation, Delhi police has interrogated and questioned the MD of Twitter in India, Mr. Maheshwari. And there are certain information which is coming from the government sources, and they are saying it seems that there is a complex web of camouflaging to evade indemnity and responsibility in India. Will the IT ministry look into this?
I should not comment on a pending police investigation. The police should do it. But my guideline also enjoins that you must have a proper declared office address in India. And since you have asked me this question, let me reply to your question in a different manner. You are free to do welcome business in India. You are free to earn tons of revenue from India. You are free to earn tons of ad revenue from India. No problem. Learn to respect laws of India and Constitution of India. That is very clear.
Since you ride the two guns, the law minister and the IT minister, coming from you, it makes the template very clear. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad,
No. The larger issue is India's digital sovereignty has to be respected. And just to repeat, when Indian companies go to America to do business, do they follow American laws or not? IT company or pharma company. When Indian media houses go to America for some doing business obligations or whatever their professional obligation, do they follow the norms there or not? I'm being very straight.
There is also there is WhatsApp pushing a new privacy policy, the issue in courts. Where does the government stand on that?
On issue of court, we will reply in court. But I'm happy you have raised the issue of privacy. We are not seeking any privacy violation. I told you this whole issue of first origin nuisance will be insisted only in case of where it is leading to violence, mayhem, violation of the rights of women, dignity and children's sexual abuse. And mind you, when other invasive processes have been exhausted, this is the only way. But on privacy, I must ask you a question. What is privacy? I am provoking a debate on your channel. Allow me. Privacy at the very core is your individual health record, sexual preferences, child's privacy, your personal correspondence, your source between you and your source, a doctor with the patient, a lawyer with a client. This must be protected by privacy. It is being protected. But let me ask a counter question. When I contest my elections, do I have to disclose my entire income of my and my wife or not, including my criminal record? When I become an MP, I have to give that record to the Speaker or the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha or not, as the case may be. When I become Minister, I give it to Prime Minister or not. All this is in public domain.
Annually.
Where is the privacy? Therefore...
But you hold public office, Mr. Ravi Shankar.
Agreed. But I have a larger question. And the problem is the biggest campaigner of the right of information overnight become the biggest champion of right to privacy. That is also my problem. By the way, Rahul, what you eat is a personal choice. But when you go to a restaurant, what you eat, the bill shows What is your preference? Where you want to travel is your personal choice. But if you go to Mumbai, the flight ticket is known, the date of departure is known digitally, and at the airport, you are scanned for security, and everything is known. Therefore, let us be pragmatic and let's be practical.
But then you have entities like Facebook who have faced charges of siphoning data, selling data, their companies which have been associated with them. How do you deal with that?
I'm very happy you have asked me this question. I understand you followed it. When about 500,000 data of Indians were siphoned off by Cambridge Analytica, from Facebook. When I referred to a CBI inquiry, the company got closed. Where was this? And by the way, the latest privacy policy of WhatsApp, that we will be selling the data of my users to allied business entities. Where is the right of privacy? Let us not overblow it.
Is the government doing enough to thwart any attempt that the data of India? See, WhatsApp is huge, 50 crore odd subscribers.
I'm very happy.
That large database is, and what people discuss on it is virtual diamond mine.
I'm very happy you have asked me this question. The data protection law is in the process of being finalized by the Select Committee. The day the Select Committee finalizes the proceedings, submits a report to the Parliament, which I eagerly look forward to, we will surely push the data protection law, which is a very robust data protection.
In the monsoon session?
It all depends upon when they submit the report. Okay.
The standing committee.
But I must say, the committee headed by Meenakshi Lekhi has done a very good work, very hard work. I understand. I'm waiting for their final report. India produces billions of data because we are 1 billion plus people. And we are going to come with a data protection law fully cognizant of the element of consent, no processing beyond the consent, and plus a data processing center. India should become a fine country. You know, Rahul, something very extraordinary I must tell you. Data centers is a big business in India rising. So the biggest data centers of the world have recently been opened in Mumbai. One is coming in Noida. I'm very happy. I'm willing to promote as an IT minister. But it has to be
a very tough job, Mr. Sometimes when you sit down, that you are promoting digital, creating digital expansion. On the other hand, you have to constantly keep looking into the system that where the digital breaches are happening of various kind, privacy, public order, and a lot of those things. Doesn't it make your job very difficult? Because also as a law minister, sometimes your legal hand may be tougher than your digital hand.
My reply is very simple. When you drive on the national highway, occasionally accident takes place, isn't it? You don't stop using that national highway. You drive without being drunk. You drive with seat belts on. And you drive within the speed limits. That's how you must approach the digital highway.
Is this how the government is also driving? It's not being a bit rash and negligent and tough on rules?
That is Rahul Srivastava's judgment. We have to be responsible, we have to be accountable to the Parliament, accountable to you, accountable to the people. Keep on asking questions, criticizing. That's what democracy is about, but also be responsible.
Thank you very much for explaining all the elements of the social media's complex web of turmoil to us. Thank you very much, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, for speaking to India Today.
Thank you.
Thank you.